At the very outset, thank you so much, Institute of Cost Accountants of India, for giving a prompt response by way of clarification with respect to the working notes. Guys, as you are aware, there is an insertion of a new instruction which says that student must write only the key or final answer in the given answer box for practical questions. So for practical questions only, the answer is to be written in the answer box. Refer answer box in the uploaded MTP. Then it says, which is a very important clarification, workings shown in the uploaded MTP for practical questions have been exhibited for convenience of the students. So the workings which are there in the MTP, they are not expected out of you. You are not expected to write the entire working in your final examination. They are there in the MTP just for your convenience to understand the process of arriving at the final answer. Amply clear? Amply clear? No working notes are required to be prepared in the examination in those boxes. Further, separate sheets will be provided in the examination hall for rough work and calculations. So whatever are your rough works, whatever are your calculations, separate sheets will be provided to you during the examination hall, and those separate sheets can be utilized for doing your working notes, rough work, calculation and whatnot. Alright. Then next instruction is, rough sheets shall be handed over to the invigilator at the end of the examination. The rough sheets shall form part of the examination record. So yes, before you leave the examination hall, you have to hand over the rough sheets to the invigilator. You cannot take your rough sheets to your home. You cannot take them with yourself. You have to hand it over in the examination hall itself. You have to hand it over to the invigilator. Those rough sheets are purely and purely for your consumption. You have to complete your workings. Your rough workings should be forming part in that particular rough sheets which are provided to you at the examination hall. So yes, a very prompt response from the institute side. It was hardly a day or so when we had created a video on this, and institute had actually in a lightning speed given these two clarifications. So things are pretty clear now. Sir, what other clarification are you going to give now? So guys, there are some more small things which are actually haunting in the minds of the students, and I want to clear those points which I am able to clear, and those points which I am not able to clear, I will definitely request the institute to give some clarity on these topics as well, these issues as well, as soon as possible. So the very first issue is, which is bothering many students, and I've got very harsh response, or very a lot of response on this particular query. Query is, will the workings done on the rough sheets be evaluated by the examiner? Will you be evaluated on the basis of the workings which are done in the rough sheet? Will you get marks? Will you get scoring on the basis of those worksheets? Whatever rough work you do on your rough sheet, would you get marks on the basis of those rough work? Because the institute is saying that hand over that sheet to the invigilator. Guys, let's come on to this clarification once again, okay? Clearly it says, clearly, please understand the words, okay? Clearly it says, separate sheets will be provided in the examination hall for rough work. For rough work, which means you are not expected to make precise working notes. You are not expected to make precise working notes. You are just expected to do some scribbling, some sort of rough work, some sort of calculations which you want to do. Secondly, rough sheets shall be handed over. Again, rough sheets. What do you mean by rough sheets? I still remember time when during our mathematics examination, we used to have a column made at the right hand side of the sheet so that we could do some rough calculations, and teachers used to tell us that this is a rough column. We will not even see it. So the hint is very clear. Rough sheets shall be handed over to the invigilator at the end of the examination. The rough sheets shall form part of examination record. Now many students are interpreting this word examination record as your answer. Where is it written? Where is answer written? It doesn't say that rough sheets shall form part of your answer. It doesn't say that. Why are you interpreting that rough sheets shall form part of your answer? No, absolutely not. Rough sheet will not form part of your answer. Rough sheet will not be evaluated. Rough sheet is just and just for your own consumption. Yes, it should be handed over to the invigilator, because this is the way all the MCQ based examination worldwide are conducted, that rough sheets always remain inside the examination hall for secrecy purposes, maybe, I don't know. So just for safety side, the rough sheets are to be handed over to the invigilator. Please don't think that rough sheets handed over to the invigilator means it will go to the examiner and it will be evaluated. It just says it will form part of examination record, which means whatever happens in the examination hall, it will form part of the administrative accumulation of whatever happens in the examination hall. It will form part of examination hall. Nowhere does it say that it will form part of your answer. So pretty much clear, whatever you write on your rough sheet, that will not be marked. It will not be marked in the examination, alright? And it will not be marked in the examination, which means that it boils down to a point that I'll show you what a point I'm going to make. It boils down to the point that, guys, very simple conclusion. Whatever you write in these boxes is your answer. That will be evaluated. Whatever you write. Institute is very clear in giving you an instruction that only write your answer. Only write the final answer. That is what is expected out of you. You do your rough workings in the rough sheet, but over here you write only your answer. But if you tell me that, sir, no, I want to even show some part of the calculation over here. Okay, do it. If you want to show some part of calculation over here, nothing like it, do it. Not a problem at all. But whatever you write over here, this is section B. Of course, in section B, you just have to write one word, so that's not the point. Section C would require some sort of details. So in section C, whatever you want to write over here, if you want to show your workings over here in brief, please write it. You are free to write anything over here. But mind it that whatever you write over here, that will be evaluated. No one is going to see your rough work, rough sheets, and the sheets which are given to you. They will not form part of your answer sheet. They will not be evaluated, as to the best of my knowledge and belief. So please don't have this confusion in mind that, sir, we will be evaluated on the basis of the rough sheets. So sir, we should make our rough sheets properly. We should make proper diagrams, proper formats. Scale should be used while making the ledger accounts, etc., etc. I absolutely don't think so. Absolutely not. Rough sheets meant for rough work. Don't make proper formats over there. That will not be evaluated. Just form parts of the examination record. Doesn't say it form part of the answer. It doesn't say that. The instruction is very, very clear that rough sheet will form part of your examination record. So, hint is pretty clear. Pretty clear. Will workings done on rough sheet form part of the exam, will be evaluated by the examiner? Answer is definitely a big no. It will not be evaluated by the examiner. You can, you can use whatever color pen you want in the rough sheet. You can write whatever in the rough sheet. No one is going to see that rough sheet. So rough sheet will not be evaluated by the examiner. That will not form part of your final examination answer. Question number 2. Whether step marking will be provided or not. Whether step marking is there or not. Guys, to a limited extent, step marking is there. What do you mean by limited extent? Limited extent means a question in part C is divided into 4 parts, okay? It is divided into 4 parts. Question number 1 asks you to put a rectification entry, okay? Rectification entry of 1 and 2. Question number 1 asks you to put rectification entry of 1 and 2. So of course, whichever entry is correct, you will get marks on that basis. So of course, step marking is there over here, because if your first entry is correct and second is incorrect, then you will get marks, and vice versa is also true. So to a limited extent, step marking is there over here. Now we come on to question number 2. Question number 2 gives you some stock destroyed by fire. There are some details. Ultimately, it asks you to compute the applicable rate of gross profit. So I very well understand that point, your point that inside this particular box, if you compute gross profit correctly, then you are there, then you have completed, then you have done your part. But if your gross profit is incorrect, then your entire 4 marks are gone. If this question is of 4 marks, then your entire 4 marks are gone. No, marks for correct answer is 2. Then your entire 2 marks are gone. If your gross profit is correct, then your entire 2 marks are correct. If your gross profit is incorrect, then your entire 2 marks are gone. So yes, no step marking for computing half gross profit as correct, okay? But suppose your gross profit is incorrect. Suppose the percentage rate of gross profit is incorrect, and the subsequent part number 3, which asks you to compute the amount of stock destroyed by fire. This amount is correct. Then you get marks on this particular part. But again, 2 or 0. There is no option of 1. Yes, to a minuscule level, step marking is not there. That's how we prepared an account and 3 entries are correct, 2 are incorrect. So we should get credit for 3 entries. That minuscule level of step marking is of course not there. But the question is divided into sub part, which means step marking on a broad level is definitely there. So step marking, I understand your point that you would say that, sir, in an account, if 2 adjustments are right, 3 are incorrect, then we'll get a 0. Yes, you'll get a 0 if 3 are incorrect and 2 are correct, because the ultimate answer is incorrect. But step marking to an extent is there. So whatever step marking is shown over here with respect to individual parts of a particular question, that is the step marking which is available to you. And your next question is Hindi medium students. What will happen to Hindi medium students? Before that, whether step marking will be provided? Yes, but limited to the part of the questions, various parts of the question, limited to that particular portion. Next, this question, guys, now this is a dicey one, because even I don't have any answer for this particular question. What about Hindi medium students? How will Hindi medium students get a chance to type? Now for this, I would definitely request the institute to please provide the clarification at the earliest, because yes, it is a challenging situation where Hindi medium students are unable to write in the examination hall, because the typing, the keyboards which are available are mostly in English. Hindi manuscript is not available in the keyboards generally. So how will this happen? This clarification is needed from the institute. So I would request the institute to give this clarification at the earliest. Next question which students are asking me is, sir, should we write assumptions somewhere? So, like specifically in costing or direct taxation, sometimes we solve our questions on the basis of assumption, okay? So sometimes we write over there whether the dearness allowance forms part of retirement benefit or not. We write such an assumption to solve our questions. So guys, again, my answer would be the same. This portion is for you, okay? Do whatever you want in this particular portion. If you think that yes, an assumption is required to be written over here on the basis of which you have computed your answer, please write it over here. Don't hesitate to use this particular space as much as you want. Instead of clarified that they want only one answer over here, that's perfectly fine. But if you feel that some assumptions are necessarily to be written over here, you can write those assumptions over here. No one is stopping you from writing those assumptions. In fact, I think it will be good for the examiner to know the assumptions on the basis of which you have computed your answer, so that if he has two answers based on one assumption or other assumption, he'll be able to give you proper marking. So yes, use this particular part, this particular space to the fullest. If you can, in brief, write your calculations. If you want to write your calculations, please write them. Institute has given you a free hand. Institute has given you a very clear instruction: write only one word answer. So Institute has freed you from typing the entire working note. Now it's up to you. If you feel that you have time, and if you feel that obviously you have to keep your clock by your side, and if you feel that you have time, adequate time to write certain additional things apart from the answer in this particular box, then after writing the answer, so suppose my answer is 1,20,000. After writing this answer, just put some spaces and write the assumptions, write the calculations. If you want to write, if you want to briefly mention something, please mention over here. Please feel free to do whatever you want to do. So the issues which you have in your mind are pretty much resolved, are pretty much clear now. Yes, for theory, there's a lot of typing effort which will go into the examination, for sure it is. And for that, you need to, from today itself, start a bit of typing practice, and this I've been telling since October, that half an hour a day, just type on your laptop, or go to some cyber cafe which is around your home. If you don't have a laptop, just try to type for half an hour a day, and be well versed with your typing speed, be well versed with your keys, and try to improve that typing speed as much as you can. Okay, no need to be a pro in typing, but yes, typing practice spree for a short span of time will be beneficial to all of you if you do it regularly. And trust me, learning to type or increasing the speed is definitely not a very difficult task. We are not asking you to be a very pro in typing and to be a 400 words per minute kind of a typist. A typing speed should be there. No, that is not the expectation. The expectation is that you should be able to minimally write your answers satisfactorily to the satisfaction of the examiner. That's it. That is the only ask. So yes, so be it. These are the clarifications which I wanted to give to you under this part 2 of the of my clarification video. So many clarifications have been received from the institute, and we expect some more clarifications to be received very, very soon, especially with regard to the Hindi medium students. This is something which we are eagerly waiting for. And yes, we are also waiting for the mock test portal for the final students and the examination hall ticket, so that we are aware that where is our center, and we can arrange the logistics as well. And yes, we are going to give the examination. We'll definitely prepare well for the examination and give the examination to the best of our ability and preparation. On that positive note, I'll be coming again and again with such clarifications wherever I think my opinion matters, wherever I think my opinion would provide some clarification to all of you. I'll be keep coming in. Till that time, all the very best and happy studying.